Good morning. It's 7 o'clock. Hi. How are you guys doing? All right. We are on Sunday. We're still in January. We're at the end of January. Woo! Into the first month of the year. Welcome to Wise 182. I am your host, Lady Caren. I'm your witch, your priestess. Yes. Oh, I was talking about the date, and all of a sudden I opened my phone and my calendar's up going, whee! Okay, yeah, we are on the last day. We're coming up to Symbolic Cannabis, the second, so Tuesday. It's a lovely holiday, and yeah, I have no plans for that. As it comes. I want to get plans for that. I want to celebrate that. I want to do something with that, and that would be great to do with you guys. If that's something you like, I could do that on here. Patreon will basically be the morning coffee with Caren, and then yeah, um, I will do other YouTube videos on basic stuff on what we're doing for improving life, getting through this crazy life into a better one for my family and that. Yes. So today, because it's Sunday, if you have a question, go ahead and post your question. It doesn't matter what it is, love, money, general. I won't answer any medical questions, but yeah. But spiritual questions, emotional questions, mental questions that are on your mind, making decisions. It's great for the tarot cards. They're very reflective. And we're going to use continuously our Sacred Circle Tarot by Anna Franklin, illustrated by Paul Mason. I'll read it from the book. Eventually, I'll get like, oh yeah, this card means this card means that. Like I do by myself. Like, yeah, okay. So, but that is hard to do when I'm nervous in front of the camera. I don't know if I'll ever not be nervous. Today we have draw your attention. I hung it up. I didn't bring the plant down. The squash is still growing. Oh my gosh! All right, my youngest likes to do something like that. So, yeah. I'm excited the fact that I'm growing a plant and it's growing and thriving. And I'm like, oh, if I pay attention to the recipe like that, the work that it takes to grow a plant, watching the pH level, the amounts of water, watching, the soil health, watching, making sure it's getting enough light, getting enough temperature, what kind of temperature it wants or needs, that kind of thing, and paying attention to it every day, showing the kids how to do it. That's the fun part, showing the kids. My youngest is excited. She got to water the plant and the squash. We would probably, if I can figure out how to self-pollinate, because I think they're all male flowers. I'm not seeing female buds. I probably end up buying another squash. So I was thinking about taking it on and growing more scraps, kitchen scraps, because they tend to grow. But I want them to thrive to the point where it gets into, the whole thing. If you don't have a question, I'll go ahead and just shuffle, and we'll do a general card this morning. All the one card readings are free on here, and I'll have it, with the subscription, the $2. I think I'm putting it as $2 on the subscription for Patreon. The $2 peer, you get the morning coffee with Caren where I preach. And then I'll be doing tarot cards on there in the mornings. And with those tarot cards, they'll be free one card readings per question per person. Yeah. So those will be fun. And I just ask, or general I don't have questions, I'll just do a general one. Generally speaking, here we are. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Just, what's, in it for the day. Just general, or just think general. I love shuffling. Lucky card, come on up. They're pretty. These are gorgeously illustrated cards. I like how it's a neutral, like if you're thinking about doing harm, you're going to pay for it, like out of the, what was it, the wands, 10 of wands or something, you're going to pay for and going to be lonely and you're not going to be happy, or hey, good things are coming your way because you worked for it. I like how it's not overly positive. I can't do that in my healing as much as other people need only positive, because they don't have the tools, the emotional tools to handle anything negative. Um, so I for me, it leaves me feeling empty, like something's missing, like bigger the more positive I am on one end, the bigger the shoe is going to drop, or when I least expect it, or something occurs that's negative for, my life. I feel like the more positive, the more I ignore it, the bigger it's going to be. So it's just like, for me, I can't not take good and bad equally. For me, it has to be balanced. There has to be a medium. There has to be a happy medium. Uh, Otherwise, if those two tones don't harmonize, I don't have that feeling of doom, or something where I don't have yet those skills to handle. And the lovely part about the faith is, even when I have those in front of me, I know I'm not alone. That, when you have faith like that, that really helps a lot of things. Um, Crazy or not, the fact that you know you're not alone, everything's going to be okay, is an amazing feeling that helps you through things that you feel are potentially doomsday, potentially anxiety filled, shut down your whole world. It's going to be okay. And I know it's going to be okay. And it's not like I think it's going to be gay. Bleh, okay. Gay. Yeah, I could take gay. But it's going to be okay. End of the world. I'm fine. I have nothing to worry about. End of the world kind of thing. I've got a lot of things left undone, but the Chariot, Seville, upside down, reversed. Like, yeah. Yeah, the glare. How do we get rid of the glare? Hold on. Let me see if I can do that. I think we'll just get decided to be decorative here. The Chariot. Let's see if I can get that. Is that nice and clear for you? Okay. So that's pretty. And it's reversed. All right. 7 Chariot. 1 High Priestess. 1. We'll just like open the book and see what it says. And I've got some wax melting. That smells so good. It fills the room and it fills me, and it adds to the ambience and it adds to the creation of the experience. I always feel like there's this strange hypothesis, it's perfectly crazy and it's beautiful, that the emotions that you have are about an experience. Uh, what makes sense for me is that it's your hormones writing on your DNA. It takes the outside world and it writes down on who and what you are as a person. So having a good experience writes a deeper, etches deeper on our DNA than a bad experience. Uh, some of the reasoning for that hypothesis um, is that it's so odd that we have environmental factors that evolve um, evolved beings on this planet. The fact that, you can end up with a horse with shorter legs, or a horse with longer legs, or taller people that have to, walk across mountains, or maybe shorter people that, have to be short, what people that develop their children and grandchildren and great great grandchildren develop a calmer demeanor versus a berserker. Um, and it's just, how would the DNA that gets passed down know what needs to be changed? What needs to be different? What needs to be carried and activated? We have so many genes that some are recessive and like so many are active. How does that change? I mean, how does the artist like design all that stuff in order for it to work? And like, we're in a body, but we're also have this ability to have out of body experiences. So if you have to wonder, like, what if the body writes on the DNA and carries the things and imprints upon our ectoplasm, our, um, foil, you know, that thing that intangible essence of spirituality that we all have, our soul, our spirit, our soul, our you know indefinable life essence. And it's a pretty hypothesis. It's very pretty. I'm sure there's ways to test it, and I don't have those means or ways just yet, but I mean, if it does, I'll take it. I'll take a testing on that. It just might not be as pretty, the results, but I like the hypothesis now. It's pretty. I'll take it. All right, so that's Journey of the Fool. All right, reversed meeting on 7. Uh, Chariots. You are collapsing under pressure and losing your self-control. Your aggression is being channeled in the wrong direction. Wildly at other people, at fate, at circumstance. It's complete waste of your energy and resources. Refine your suggestion to determination and willpower. Stop climbing weakly to unrewarding ideas, habits, people, and objects, and move forward. That is a healthy, what's the message that I've been getting from the tarot cards all day? How desperately I want my partner to understand that I was actually hurt. Um, they don't get it. They don't understand it. And it just blows my mind that they don't think that I have thoughts or feelings and that they could tell me anything or do anything to me. And they think, oh, that's just a crazy person going off in the corner. I don't know how they got 4 years ago from, oh, you're just having a normal reaction to an um, non-normal, situation, to, oh, you're just crazy. It doesn't matter what's going on. You're crazy. Like, I understand I'm crazy, but to say that a crazy person who gets angry has no right or no reason, or having the same situation that a non-crazy person or somebody who isn't deemed crazy has that same situation, and they get upset and it's valid, versus anytime a crazy person gets upset, it's invalid. How do we actually treat people? It brings me to try to recognize how we treat people, how we treat people we deem crazy, how we treat people that we deem ill or whatever. And I have to sit there and I weigh these ideas of and information going, is it the crazy person's reaction or is it the situation that the crazy person is reacting to that, you have to sit there and look at? Do we invalidate information simply because we don't like the person? And how much do we lose as a society and as a human race for simply not liking somebody? We're so segregated that we're harming ourselves. And that our cohesiveness that we bring together, like my kids' school, they only hang out with the other, parents and stuff like that. They build this whole relationship on this. Or some people have work friends and they only kind of hang out with work friends and do stuff, or they kind of just hang out with one type of friend. I can't do that. I literally, I can't just have just one type of friend. I don't feel complete. I feel like there's stuff missing. I feel like, like I have misinformation. Like if I only have a piece of the puzzle, it's not the whole thing. And I can't, yeah. So I have to wonder if even these people that we don't like and don't like to listen to, and we don't like them, we should equally listen to them. I have this thought conceiving that we should equally listen to the people that we don't like as much as the people we do like. And no matter how about they're going about it, and actually look at them. Like children, we look at, there are some people who are realizing that if a child is acting up, they have a reason for it. And if you can look at the reason and take away the reason or help them manage that reason in a more healthy manner, that the result is the next time that happens, instead of having a misbehaving child, you have an exemplary child. Same thing with adults. It translates. What you learn to do with that simple information as a kid, or that simple input of experience, is how we manage that input as an adult. And how are we inputting and experiencing and reacting and proactively proactively handling our situation? Because I sit there and I'm like, holy crap. All these times that people didn't listen to me and they missed out, and they sit there, they come back and go, oh, yeah, this information is right. They'll either say you were right or they'll make it come off as if it was their thing. Um, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it was, um, 4 years ago, yeah. Kids 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 6. It was, whatever it was. So many years ago, um, I wasn't expecting my partner to move in here. I was expecting that we'd go move out. But he's like, yeah, somehow wires got crossed and he moved in. So I went and I cleaned out this whole area. I didn't even expect him to, stay in the same bed as me or the same room as me. So I cleaned out this whole area. Um, and scrubbed it down, and I'm working my rear end off, and I'm putting, spiritual energy into cleansing. I'm putting physical energy into clearing out space and making it as most welcoming as I can for him. I'm calling, and he calls me, or I call him or something, and we're talking. I'm like, yeah, I'm just cleaning, this all out to give you your own space. Oh, and he's from the military. So I'm saying this is an experience of what's happened to me. This is one out of a bazillion occurrences by 100 other people. But this example, he's like, military guy, he's like, I don't need anything more than a place to put my stuff and a place to sleep. I don't really need space. like, but I want you to feel comfortable, in here. I want you to have some space to yourself, some kind of, resort place to get into to be comfortable. I'm telling them, and it's like, I don't need that. And he leaves his house, and there would been an argument and whatnot. I don't ever feel comfortable there. I didn't feel like anything was my space or my, you know, like I could just be myself or do anything. Like, that was, why would I think somebody needs their own space? It's not a military bunker that you have to share with 50,000 other people. Exaggeration, exaggeration. But I understand this human need to feel comfortable, to let a little bit of ourselves out to grow, to have a little privacy. And it's just weird how, oh, you're wrong. And I didn't have to perceive it as I'm wrong. I just kind of like shockingly, okay, whatever you need for you, and to, oh, this information you gave me was right. I'm like, so I have to. That's the part of where I had to learn to believe in myself. And we all need that. You definitely need that. Believing into yourself creates a way for you to react, to have a way of, no matter what comes at you, you know how to deal with it. You have a knowledge or a way to seek out knowledge. That kind of gets in there and kind of counteracts anxiety. Um, And so learning that, having it happen to me again and again and again and again and again by so many people, I'm just like, I'm not wrong. I'm not saying they're wrong, but I'm not wrong either. And I want for you guys to realize you may not be wrong, except for those anti-maskers. But like, there's an exception to everything. Those anti-maskers. Okay, for the anti-maskers, this isn't a you have to put on a mask. This is, take a breath, take a look at it. I understand wearing a mask can be difficult. Lately, it has been feeling, with the changes that I've been going through and the stress I've been going through, I have felt a bit of anxiety with putting on a mask in the store. Like, I've felt this instinct that I'm supposed to take the mask off. Like, you take your shoes and your coat off when you get inside the house. And I'm like, oh, to talk. And I'm like, no, this is a person that I don't want to have um, an interaction with, that allows the spread of my germs. Because not only have we been preventing the spread of COVID or reducing the spread of COVID, we've also been reducing the spread of so many other contagions, so many other flus, so many other colds, so many other other viruses and bacteria. Um, we've been doing great. And so when the vaccine works and the majority of us are able to slow down the spread of COVID to where it's not this horrific pandemic that's that if we let it go on enough, it can wipe out, a good portion of the human race, if not all the human race, and our cats and the other animals, and be our post-apocalyptic. Uh, like being a big thing of the apocalypse right now. And so I have and when we're able to safely congregate and have larger crowds at some point, we also have to realize that even if we have a vaccine to the COVID and the mutated strains, that we also understand that we will be, and we're out interacting, we will also be spreading common colds, flus, things that people hadn't built up an immune to. And those can be, if you're not healthy, and if you're not, I mean, there's lots of people who are like, I can eat anything. I don't care what I look like. I don't care about practicing hygienes because there's nobody to be clean for. And those people start, and you don't realize that just the simple, it shouldn't be luxury. It should just be the simple, um, being clean for yourself to stop certain spreads of other infections and other issues, and clean skin or having clean hair. The benefits, the health benefits of just having a clean environment, a clean, hygienic person, and having a healthy, working out and eating right and feeling the benefits of having energy and feeling the benefits of just feeling good about yourself and raising up, because what it does is it helps regulate your thyroid and regulate all your hormones and helping you be in a, just a state of good health, a state of somebody you can enjoy being with. And how you would enjoy being with a slob then, or you don't mind being in with slobs, is fine for you. But I mean, like, to carry, if that's something that you don't need because you have such, luxury of clean water and clean, health and clean care and all that. I mean, just doing it for other people and realizing you can do it for yourself. You can enjoy, you don't have to get gussied up and prettied for everybody, is when you realize how pretty it is to have good health. How gorgeous and beautiful you feel for having like a clean diet where you don't have that sludge that makes you feel heavier from eating a whole bunch of junk food, or tired, or just, crappy. Or where you don't have to depend on coffee. The coffee is a luxury item to wake up, or that you don't have to depend on some sort of alcoholic drink just to relax, that you understand how to actually relax, and that maybe alcohol can be something to just a pastime activity once in a great start while. That's what I do for, and I've noticed that fermentation has been part of my gut health. So I've been trying to incorporate, I wouldn't say a glass of alcohol, but I mean, if you eat dinner with a glass of wine, maybe, you know, or something to help with digestive tract, like later on, that's a great thing, um, to not need alcohol or to not need caffeine, but to want it instead is a better life. It's better for, it's enjoyable. I mean, you get to enjoy it. It gives a sense of rise that when you can create a healthier life, when you can create something where you have energy and you have this, I'm okay with who and what I am. I'm okay to be alone by myself. I'm okay to hang out with, my kids. I don't need to get away for like 5 minutes chasing 5 minutes. I've done that. I've spent, a good 8 to 12 hours trying to chase just 5 minutes by myself to hear myself think, or to rest for a 10-minute nap. Because, I have stressful environments, to get away, to do things, to not have to do that, to not need that as much, or to chase that for 7 days, to just chase a moment of peace, but to just have a continuous moment of peace is amazing. And that happiness is something that I'm going to try to build, and maintain a self-sustaining happiness, a self-sustaining peace. That's my dream. And something, the bigger part of that dream, that I want the byproduct of that dream to be this huge byproduct, to be something that is applicable to other people who want it, and to be able to do it for them. Because I'm going through this stress of dealing with my mom, going with whatever health issues. I'm going through a breakup, you know, of a partnership, of something that I had this trust. So I just put everything in my life and my aspect. I put like married into his everything. My finances were dependent on him. My daily, pictures. The fact that I can't figure out how to get my pictures out where I'm not just sharing pictures with him. The fact that my waking schedule, my sleeping schedule, the food that I eat. So this every waking moment is like a devotion to another person, is a devotion to myself, is devoted to another person where I put the whole family in and I put everything into that relationship. That is not healthy. I've told my sister not to do that when she was younger. And this is the result that if it doesn't work out, I mean, I was willing to put in the action um, that required to work through stuff. So even if we have those aggravations and those I'm not sure we can make it moments, that I had this trust that we would work it through, and we threw it away. He kicked me out, doesn't want to see me again. And I believe in allowing him, allowing the other person. It's supposed to be consensual. It's supposed to be equal give and take. It's supposed to be, you know, all that whatever. And it's not so much that he's the type of person that I should or should. It's what we created together didn't work. And I have to come to terms with that. And with dealing with this life altering situation of somebody whom I've depended on my whole life, who's been there for me, whether I liked it or not, whether I wanted to be able to depend on her or not. And she's going through this rough time. So I feel that I need to take those things that I'm dealing with, pop them on some other back burner, and deal with this. And, and because it's not just me. And so now I'm in this whole point in this whole situation. Yes, I have to take care of my crap so that I can be a person enough to, without causing more problems, without my situation causing problems with dealing with this. I also have to start a business because that has to go on. Because even after this event, this life changing event occurs, I still have to be making money. I still have to be moving on with this life and this family life. It's uberly serious. I'm trying to put some sort of relief into it by saying uberly. So if you take something too serious, it's not exactly healthy, but is it appropriate to put in some sort of humorous word? I don't know. But I do know that I'm going to try for it, and however the actions or consequences of doing that, I have to put in, I have to put in what I know how to do. And I mean, so this person that I have so many other feelings about is sick, and they need help. They've been there for me, whether or not they could be, and they helped me out. No ifs, ands, or buts, or no strings attached. Hoping maybe that I'd love them back. And it's that type of love that grows that you realize, and this person is now amazing. Like, I don't understand how, in the end of the life, amazing things can happen. Is it our action that, oh, we should just give her whatever she wants and she's happy and things are good? I mean, had we done that, no, not fought with anything about what she wanted in the first place? Like, if nobody had fought with me about the things that I want, and I hadn't thought about the things that somebody else wants, would we have had a better life? I mean, 'cause in this illness, I mean, things are great, and there's the sense that it shouldn't be. Because all this, and maybe it's because it doesn't need to be a bad thing during this event, during, last day, that, that illness, because illness in itself is enough to deal with, is enough negative action to deal with. So I have to wonder, you know, how do we want to handle our life based on like real being faced with, you know, end of life and death and things that we need to do. Uh, hmm. So, looking forward towards finances and breaking up a lot of this huge tangled mess of accumulation of 40 years worth of actions of not knowing better and or not having that information available to me and not knowing where to go get that information. That pisses me off. If somebody were to withhold that and be like, hey, I knew what your problem was this whole time. You may not like it, but here it is. I prefer that. To be honest with somebody is this with me is kindness. To be brutally honest, you don't have to be. I mean, you can still be honest and get your point across. And I appreciate that, no matter how I feel about the news initially. But yeah, it's unkind to lie. I feel like it's unkind. Even white lies feel unkind to me. And I have to put in the presence of mind that some people need white lies, but I don't understand it and I can't conceive the idea. It doesn't mean that I won't. For those who need white lies, of course, tell me that you need me to lie to you and I'll lie to you. I mean, I'm brutally honest because to me, that's a kindness. That is a true kindness, is so that somebody can learn, somebody can grow, to stop somebody from being their best of who they can be simply because you don't want them to go through a momentarily uncomfortable uh, thought, feeling, or action is horribly unkind to me. Uh, you know, tact and maybe some diplomacy with delivering the news, not to be, probably is better for me to learn to do for others. I probably appreciate it from others. Those are the things, somber. With the amount of stress that I've been having lately, somber is this, coffee with Caren. I've already had a cup, made uh, iced coffee-ish. Not a total recipe, but it's a recipe I went with. Um, Here. Eh, just kidding. I made iced coffee. Um, Usually I like taking leftover coffee and making them into ice cubes, but I do that during the summer. So that I can create this coffee. So that when you make really, really strong coffee and then you pour it over ice, and so that when ice waters it down, um, coffee ice, iced coffee, when it's watered down, ice cubes, coffee cubes, yeah, frozen coffee cubes. We'll put it that way. When frozen coffee cubes are melted, it leaves with still a sense of coffee. Um, I wonder if I should do like sweetener cubes and creamer cubes to go along with it so that it all mixes. This one is original. I did a picture of original, but so that sometimes I like to flavor my cup. So it's half and half. It's regular, half and half. I used agave, raw agave, raw blue agave, raw blue agave, organic. It's great. It's sweetener. I don't know if I added enough. Liquid sweetener is better dissolving in cold liquids, if you haven't already known that. If this is your first of hearing it, first being presented that information, it's easier. The granules don't always, heat helps granules melt better. But yeah, so I put in a liquid sweetener, and it's pretty good coffee. It's not bad. It goes as coffee goes. I love to sweeten it. Pumpkin spice has been my biggest go-to lately. The cinnamon and stuff. It's great. It's just a great production. Um, Magically, and it just tastes great to me. And it's got cinnamon, which like sucks out the moisture and things. So it's definitely like so. Uh, I don't know if it's an anti-inflammatory. I think it is. But yeah, I've been using some anti-inflammatory spices in my food as well. And that has been great. So trying to go with the exercise that my youngest is now obsessed with us all doing. Uh, like I do a little bit of exercise, and then this kid wants to do nothing but exercise. Get out of the tub before she gets stressed. I want to exercise. I'm struck. Yeah, and she is fierce. It's amazing. So young, so fierce. She looks like one of those, kung fu toddler 5-year-olds, and they're doing, complicated combinations and formulas. It's just like amazing that they can pick up, absorb, and gain a faster. I guess they have less inhibitors. We have where we develop, oh, I don't like that experience. So we build up inhibitors towards, a thought and action, or words or things that we have like, no, no, we avoid this. And so we have to get over more hurdles. Thinking the less experience they have, you give them a presentation of something and they can still have a good experience with it. They'll suck it right in like a sponge, and they'll go right for it. And that's the fun, exciting thing, that they're totally intelligent, um, thing that we enjoy watching. Uh, that intelligence, that beauty of that intelligence that grows with them is just surreal, and I love it. And I, could watch it all day, gaining where they gain so much knowledge and they gain so much, practice with their intelligence. Intelligence is a practice. Knowledge is something we can gain with it. So when somebody doesn't have knowledge, doesn't mean that they're not smart. And we have this misconception that I've watched me, no matter how much I consciously say, this is how it is, I've watched my subconscious react to certain aspects going, oh, I still believe that knowledge is a measurement of intelligence. And I'm like, no, that's not right. I know, that, test it, test it, test it. If I approach it with intelligence is what we do with our knowledge and how well we obtain it, retain it, and use it and apply it, is amazing. So that is a measurement of intelligence, and the fact that we all have intelligence. We should treat everybody like they're intelligent, whether or not they're knowledgeable. Uh, yeah, that's another thing that I'd like to try and strive for, like a spiritual knowledge, an emotional knowledge, or emotional intelligence. We all have, a physical intelligence, physical memory, physical muscle memory. You know, do something, sort of an action, and it becomes the instinct that that's what we do. Um, Not everybody has every knowledge, or you should know this probably needs to be wiped, a phrase that needs to be wiped from our culture. And we would have a vastly different culture. We would have uh, a vastly faster learning culture um, amongst people, amongst our animals too. Um, You know, puppies don't automatically know how to heel, sit, shake paws and all that stuff. We teach them as we teach them not to hoard and scarf down their food and all these other things that how to not jump up on people or know how to be, our instincts on I have to wonder what instincts are that we shouldn't get rid of and what should we grow into skill and what intelligent skill and what instincts that we've been getting rid of that we should have had and what instincts that we got rid of that give us a more self-disciplined action in our work and our daily doing and our daily approach to life and our daily approach to the things that we do. That's another thing that I've noticed is there are certain phrases that I don't believe in, such as we can fix people or situations. Um, we can fix it applying to a person or an animated object or life, a living being is wrong. Fix it is a horrible. There was a place for it, and it's an opportunity for such phrase to develop, and it was very short term, and it didn't work. You can't fix living beings, and you can't fix situations. You can work on them. You can't change people as much as you can grow people, and the way that they react or the way that they are in a situation um, may change. But the essence of a being shouldn't change. I mean, you shouldn't have to change a person as sometimes if a person is a negative person or they have negative actions or they have negative anger, it's an action that they're carrying out as a reaction to certain stresses, possibly, unless they're conditioned otherwise. It can become a condition, and if person is just a complete and utter a-hole, it's a reaction, it's a mechanism that humans have for and animals and other living beings have with offensive defense for attack. They constantly have that fight or flight. Like, I'm going. You can't hurt me. You can't hurt me. You can't hurt me. Um, so if you take the environment and teach them how to approach their environment and how to grow their environment in a more disciplined manner in order that they can be more themselves without all that anger. Now, to say is that shouldn't ignore anger. They shouldn't get rid of anger. They should grow to understand anger, and then it transforms and it channels into something else. So that energy is not essentially a bad energy. They're just doing bad stuff with that energy. It's the way that I approach. I have this anger and this hurts, and I have been channeling it wrong. Because I'm human, and my with the situations that I was given throughout my childhood all the way up to my these 40 this nearly 40 years, um, it worked. It gave me a result, and it gave me a result that whether or not I liked it, it helped me move forward, having anger. But the more I grew, the more I was woke, the more I began to realize these things that we had unlearned in our child. Not all of us, but things that's possible for people to unlearn in their childhood is that there is an emotion. an energy, a type of residual uh, electromagnetic pulse. That's not wrong to say that. About something, a continuous wattage of way of we react in an emotion. Now, if we take it and we just tune it, change the pitch, change what we do with that action, it changes the pitch that bounces back. If we change the history and we spin it tighter, or we let it loosen, or we sew into it a color that blends more with what's going on, we get a different picture. We get a different resonating song. And what kind of song do you want to play? What kind of song do you want in your life? What kind of being do you want to embody? For me, there's a lot of, I don't know, anger. So to deny the anger makes it come back louder, like so many fold. Acknowledging, yes, I'm angry. What do I want to do about this anger? Really takes how I want to change it. And really it takes the approach. Sometimes when we're stressed out and we have certain actions, we may not use our money wisely either. So going into financial February and having a mindset where we have this energy where we have to take care of the things that we're angry about, and we have to feed it, and we put a lot of energy into it, we put a lot of devotion into it, we put a lot of time into it, and a lot of that time can equal your money. So I know that, instead of growing angry money, which probably growing angry, ways of sustaining, things that we need, we have to grow something else in order to have a life where we can have a healthy life and a self-sustaining happiness that just keeps going and it feeds itself and it grows and it's disciplined. I have to grow a type of discipline on how I want to handle that anger. How do I want to handle um I want to handle it more with understanding. And as much as I want closure, I opened up the opportunity for closure. I may have to just let it go and let them go. I understand that there'll be residual actions against me because they're hurt. I mean, I understand that hurt because I have hurt myself. So, my focus right now is on these other things that are going on in my life that don't have anything to do with me, but have to do with other people. So, I have to take care of my mother's illness, focus on the kids going through their thing that they're going through, and I have to build up finances, pay off debt, and do these things and move forward. It's not an easy thing to let go, but I'm going to do it. You know. So hit that like button and that subscribe button if that's something more of like what you want and what you like and what you need to know more about when it comes out. You hit that notification bell. Yeah, like. No. Yes, hit the like button. You want to hit the thumbs up. It's a nice little endorphin little kicker. It is. It gives me endorphin to see the likes buttons. Yeah, subscribe. So Monday, then I will see on regular YouTube. I will see you guys Saturday, and we will see how the first week of February went in the routine. And I will try to build videos on last month's because you guys didn't actually get to see all the hard work that I did in building routines, like doing dishes and cleaning up more. And it's not what be as much cleaning as I want to accomplish because I have so much overwhelming kind of cleaning to do. But yeah, you get to see. I want to do little videos on that as soon as I figure out how to do that. So I'm still looking at I'm not saying that if I put out my Patreon link and everything, and you end up subscribing to the $2 tier of two $2, $3, whatever tier it is for watching these coffees with Karen. That it won't be a hiccup or two on Monday. But thought about going with a 12% um, subscription or membership for Patreon so that because I don't have um, a lot of knowledge on all this stuff and I don't I have so much going on that I don't know how much I can devote to time, but it'll be just preaching Monday through Friday hitting up on Patreon. Um, will be a lot of just preaching, just be about like the things that I realize in my life, and it'll be about the innovation. So you'll hear more about God, you'll hear more about God, you'll hear more about me preaching about the connection between the power of ourselves, the power of all living beings, the connection of all living beings, and the connection to divinity, and the connection to all three. The triad divinity of how things going. So you'll hear about me preaching about elements. You'll hear me preaching about duality, trinities, different types of numbers, different types of symbols, different types of moon phases, different types of runes, and different types of herbs, spices, color coordinations. Preaching about witchcraft, preaching about our things like that. That's going to go Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. I'll try to do live. It's the easiest for me. Um, there's a lot of thing about Patreon not being um, what it used to be when it started out being a well-intended thing. I want to avoid politics apparently on Patreon because they will swap that. And then I will try to build a base email, like an email newsletter and a thing going on with whole list wise one stuff. Church-wise, so that you could still get the content. I know that if I got attached, it's because I get attached to things that they just evaporate, disappear. Oh, I love this product in the store. Next thing I know, I can't find it in the store. I can't find it in any other store. I can't find it on Amazon. It's because I liked it. And it was good. And it really made an impact on my life and making it easier and better. And it went gone. I'm like, huh, maybe I shouldn't like things and maybe they'll stay, especially if they make my life better. Yeah. So, um, yeah, there'll be a lot of witchcraft stuff. There'll be me building a whole nother religion. I'm very slow with it, um, because I wanted to have a firmer foundation. I'm not just like, here, we worship on these days. This is the divinities. These are the names of the divinities. These are the names of the essence. Here's our manto. Here's our what do you call it when they goals and stuff and dreams and mission. Yeah, our missions. Here's our what trying to do for the environment and for our community and these it's a little slower. Um, rather than getting a culture shock because what it does is when you introduce a new religion you also introduce culture, as much as we want to separate politics from culture, which we should be able to. A lot of things it sit there and you go, I wonder how much of that is influenced by religion, whether we like it or not. So religion is big, and religion is something that is part of our culture, part of our lives, part of our stuff. But our spirituality is, in its essence, to me, it's an organization that people have in commonality with this divinity and this type of spirituality where we can share that. And the ideas should be able to separate and come back together. There should be a strand per person of spirituality. We should be able to bring that all together in this religion that I'm trying to develop, because right now, my knowledge of the type of religions out there, I with witchcraft and witchcraft not having an official religion, I could create another religion, not necessarily an official witchcraft religion, because that wouldn't be very healthy for witchcraft. Because witchcraft you could take the spirituality and you could take and separate that aspect from the divinity of it. And you can be a Christian and still be a witch. And it's pretty beautiful. You could be a witch and you could be a scientist, a witch and then a scientist. It works. It's applicable. And it's, something that's been there since before Christianity and a lot of other religions. So it in itself should, outlive religion. Witchcraft should outlive, you know, because it's got a pagan aspect. It's what we were long before we became civilization. So we were pagans long before we were an organized religion. Long before our first, what is it? India's got Hindu. So it's got an aspect, that spiritual aspect. And it has similarities between, spiritual similarities between Hindu. Is it Hindu? I will look these up again. It's not so much that I don't know it, it's what's popping out my mouth. It's like looking at a menu and wanting a number 4 and saying, "I'll take a number 6." So I want to make sure I want to get a visual board here going so that I can better. That'll be another thing, is that I should implement a tool of visual, because I'm a visual person. It will grow in its essence a more enriched video, which will bring on to making it worth paying $2 a month for content. Another goal with the Patreon content that I'm going to start on Monday is to be something where I can enjoy editing, where I'm not embarrassed or uncomfortable with watching myself talk about super crazy stuff like pee. Pee is not something I want to talk about. Pee is not something I'd want to hear about from another YouTuber. So I want you guys to feel comfortable. Enjoy. If you're paying for it, it's something I want to be enjoyable. And somehow I want to get closed captions in here, because it's frustrating when there aren't closed captions on other, other YouTubers, especially since I can't hear a certain pitch. It's literally a mute button. So certain syllables, certain accents, on top of the fact that I can't hear every syllable. It's like, I should let you guys go. So this being Saturday, Sunday, this being the week, we have, yeah, I will let you guys go. I will let you enjoy the rest of your weekend, no matter what time of day it is for you. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, till the next time we see each other. May it be either tomorrow morning, getting everything streamed and ready and done and good, or may it be Saturday at 7. So I will see you when next you see me, and maybe you might watch videos where it already, recorded and played. Oh, that smells so good. It's like pumpkin spice. That's why I'm thinking about pumpkin spice. I got like wax in there. It's pretty. It's melting under a tea light candle, which is warm. But you want to make sure you have fire safety involved when burning altars and other things. Just adding a touch here. A little bit of magic to our day every day. Makes things, it gives me that bubbly rise that makes me feel joy, happiness, bubbly, and ooh la la, and you know. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you want more of it, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to know when the random stuff comes out on YouTube, that would be just because I put up random crap that ends up being content that we enjoy and love. Hit that notification bell. I love you guys. Mwah. Love you, love you, love, 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 love you. You guys have a good one. Till next we see each other.